May pa naman. Speed is should be normal, right? Not slow.
right, guys, welcome in to the Division One Finals Catan Championship stream. I'm here with the amazing, the awesome, the Division One finalist Agron. How are you doing, brother? Can't hear me. Let's see here. What's up, Agron? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you. Welcome in.
Excellent. Hello.
I think you missed what I said, but welcoming in
I did, I did.
the spectacular, the amazing, but more importantly, the awesome Agron.
Hell yeah.
So glad to have you, brother.
For sure. Happy to be here.
Okay, cool. So I believe test, they can hear me. Can you say something for us?
Yep. Hello.
Cool. We can hear you.
Excellent.
Okay, I think we're all good.
So noisepond in the first position. The immediate spot that jumps to me right now is the 4810. It's a really solid spot. Pretty decent ore. Pretty decent wheat. Best brick. The ports seem okay. So that's like the first spot that just immediately jumps out at me. What about you?
Yeah, I'm doing a survey of the board right now. I do like that spot. I guess it just depends what noise pawn is expecting back, right? So like if he
Of
goes 8
course,
4
of
10,
course.
he's looking to hopefully at least get on some sheep, seeing that the only port that's useful to him in this moment would be the sheep port unless he pointed right to the ore port. But I feel like either of those ports in this spot are not as efficient with the production.
No, they are not. Okay, yeah, the
Yes,
5810 is pretty good.
yeah, it makes sense here, I think, just because of the wood port.
Yeah, Woodport could be strong here.
Yeah, Noise Pawn, I mean, is a very flexible player, right? So his strategy in terms of how to win this game can go either way. I definitely think this gives him some flexibility if he does, for whatever reason, not get weed on the way back, but he should with this board.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. I think he might have actually picked this spot specifically because he might be looking at something like 6, 11, 12 on the way back, which pairs really well with the 5810. I think there's definitely like an expectation there that that might be left open for him.
Yeah, definitely. So what I like to do, Agron, is I definitely like to talk about the players a little bit during
Of course.
placements, and we can kind of catch up on, I guess, the trade of thought of where we think they're going. First, I guess I wanted to just point out some accolades amongst the four players that we currently have. Raymond and both Raymond and Noisepawn are Division One final champions. Excuse me. They
Indeed,
are
they are.
also competitors in the Tournament of Champions, which is the tournament for Division One champions in our specific Discord league. So they both will be looking to get their second title. Noisepawn has been on a absolute heater lately. He's definitely a newer player, but not one that has not proven himself. Raymond is one that everyone knows is an extremely strong player, both in this Discord league as well as others. So we'll be very excited to see kind of what he does this game. Sonic and emts are players who have not taken home a title yet, but in their own right, very strong as well. Sonic's consistently in um, the making semifinals, making playoffs. I believe this is not his first Division One final either. So very strong table. EMT's.
I'm pretty sure this actually is Sonic's first Division 1 final,
Oh,
but he
is it really?
has yeah. But he has made semis quite a few times. I think two or three.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I thought maybe he was there previously just because of him
Mhm.
always being in the top 16 every month. It seems like, and also a player who does so with not as many games compared to
Yeah,
other
very few
players in the
games
league.
played.
Yeah,
Sonic
which
usually plays like on average like 20ish games.
yeah, And
which is not a lot compared to you and me. So
yeah, definitely. We play a lot.
probably
So
too
nice.
much.
So second position, Sonic went 5, 9, 10. I don't know about you, but I actually like this spot for second just because of the flexibility of the ports and
Yeah.
the idea of him getting wheat no matter what coming back on this board. It also gives him a 3-for-1 port, which I feel like is very, very useful in this board, seeing that 3-for-1 ports are not as accessible to everyone else. And it's just the most flexible port throughout the game. So I like that spot for second. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think valuing the 3-for-1 port makes a lot of sense. 5, 9, 10 is good. Pretty much guaranteed to get wheat on the way back. Snatching up that 6, 11, 12 that noisepond was probably looking at, but Noise is probably still pretty happy here with like 9, 4, 11. So I don't think he has anything to really fret about here.
Yes, so we have a comment from Rowan the Boats, Division 1 finalist, very strong player here, so thank you for tuning in. He
Of
says
course.
GG Man Ray. So we're already calling GG's for Raymond and calling a two-time victory here. What are your thoughts there? He seems extremely or we cheat heavy. He's pointing up, so you would imagine he gets the 3-for-1 port on the 4 but for whatever reason, if he gets the road builder, maybe like an early yop, taking that wood port would be insane, I think, for Raymond and absolutely
Of
kill
course, of
Noise
course.
Pawn.
I think what concerns me with that is Rayman is excellent at not only leveraging his trades, but making his trades work against you, like in the future. Like he's always offering deals that seem great on the surface, but then when you have to pay him back, it ends up paying in dividends for him. So I think with that in mind, we might be seeing like some future brick deals with like Sonic and EMTs to sort of like get Rayman to his ports.
Definitely.
Like that is definitely something I can foresee here.
Yeah, so Raymond just looks already cheap here. Sonic seems a bit flexible.
Mhm.
I think EMTs is actually set up extremely well here.
I think just based off of setups alone, I'm definitely favoring EMT setup. The ports are honestly insane. Like he has 3 2-for-1 ports essentially that he can go to here: sheep, ore, and brick.
Wait, am I talking now?
Yeah, you are now.
I definitely think he never uses the ore port in an efficient way, so getting on that brick port
Yeah, I
and
was
then
thinking
the
through that
eventual
8
second
grave for
settle
second.
on the 8 brick as an expansion, even if he doesn't get the sheep port, is very good here, I think. I'm not sure what port he'd... I imagine he'd probably prioritize the sheep port and race Sonic, because that would very much limit Sonic's position, but I do like EMT setup here a lot.
Yeah, I definitely do too. Which port do you think he goes to first, though?
I think he should go brick port. If I was him, I would play it safe. If it's not a necessary race that you need the port to win the game, I wouldn't race to the sheep port.
I think that's fair. Do you think it's potentially like a mindset of, oh, I might have limited settles if I don't win this race to the sheep port?
I don't think so, just because EMTs has what I'm seeing 3 easy road settles that are uncontested right now on the brick port, ore port, and the 8 brick.
I think I definitely agree with that. Another thing EMTs could do, since he has like the best road production, is he could just say screw it and then just like build up to like the 5-2, or even like beat Noise to the 10-9-2, and then build up that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Like that's genuinely something that I'm looking at EMTs potentially doing here. Because I think there's some pretty strong production spots there.
Yes, you have the road settle.
It looks like Noise and Raymond are playing the same game, the Orweed sheep, basically, and whoever gets that wood port will be more efficient and probably win that battle between the two of them, I'd imagine. Because even the 9-10-2, 3-10-11, 6-3, they're good expansion spots, but I do feel like they need a port to kind of give an edge on their opponent, which it seems like it's them too. Sonic and EMT is definitely flexible, but I imagine those two definitely go for road. It looks like road is just going to stick with red
you want
based
2
off
cards for
their
something?
wood and brick production, but that's what I'm seeing.
For what?
Mhm.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I think that's definitely fair for sure. I think another thing to consider here is that like Sonic and EMTs kind of have like their own sides of the map, right?
Yeah, my issue
So
is
we might see a situation where
I think
obviously
I'm
Noise and
getting-
Ray are going to be
I think he
battling for
has it.
devs, and then Sonic and EMTs are
He's
just
a
going to have their
little-
own sides of the map to work with,
Green.
which I think might lead to an interesting dynamic here. Because like it's very evident who's going for Red and who's going for Army just based off of the setups, and
If you want,
sometimes you don't see that at the start of the game.
Yeah, definitely.
If you give me free insurance, I won't allow it.
Okay, I'm just gonna lower their
Oh wait,
volume a bit. It's a
No,
little
I need
high.
like.
Mhm.
No, I need.
Okay.
Okay, so if you try me like wait for.
Hey, how's it going,
Give
Kelly?
me a wood for a week, and you give me free insurance.
Hope you're doing good, man.
So I guess I was mistaken. Rowan is not a Division 1 finalist, although he is easily considered
thing is,
one of the
I
best in the league, in my opinion.
but I think
So
I
I believe that's why I made that mistake.
Yeah,
But definitely a competitor
So,
that's been here multiple times. Looking to claim a future title.
Of course, of course.
So Robin says he thinks Red goes Sheepport.
So what do you need to, what do you have to ask me?
Yeah, just this, and then
I feel like if you have the plow when you're Red, you know, the road settle, you do go Sheepport just to elevate your game and hurt Green's chance of winning this game as well. But if you don't have it in hand, I wouldn't like play my intentions forward and just build that road down unless I have it in hand, which I'm sure that's what Robin means.
Of course, of course. I think Sonic's main intention for getting there is to just double up on the 10 ore. I don't think the sheet port is going to be very vital to his plans. It could definitely be good, maybe late game once you get the city up on the 5, 9, 10. But I think overall, it's mainly just to double up on this 10 ore.
Gotcha.
I think we're going to look at Sonic going something like the 10 ore settle, then the 3 for 1, and then maybe 6-3 if Rayman hasn't taken it yet.
Yeah, if I was Sonic after the sheep port, I would go 6-3, just because the 3 for 1 is never contested by anyone else, and it limits Raymond's ability to have that chance to road settle there later once he starts popping and eventually pull some nice development cards like the Road Builder or the Yop.
See, I would think the same thing, but I don't think Rayman is ever prioritizing the 6-3. I think Rayman is always prioritizing getting to one of those 2 ports up there.
Yeah, for sure. I understand what you're saying. And if I was Raymond, I would do the same. Whoever gets that wood port is going to be big. Well, Raymond should, in my opinion, go for 3 for 1 if he doesn't have the road settle already to plow Noise, because Noise, I think, always goes wood port no matter what as his first road settle, just because it's extremely important, I believe, in his position to have that edge on Raymond, because Raymond will get the 3 for 1 eventually.
I mean, noisepond's definitely going to need a port of some kind. The wood port isn't exactly flexible, but what it does is it'll give him that extra ore spot that he's missing. So that 8 wood essentially is going to turn into his other ore spot, which will give him pretty decent ore wheat cheap ratios.
We have a nice early road settle by EMTs. They go Brickport first, which we may have missed it during our commentary. If there is some kind of deal with Sonic, maybe, I'd imagine. Because if I was EMTs, I'd definitely plow.
I mean, it definitely looks like EMTs had the plow and then made a trade with Sonic to go a different direction, right?
Gotcha.
I think that's genuinely what happened. Because I think Sonic is definitely inclined to protect that spot for him no matter what. Because it's not like he has limited settle spots, but he has limited useful settle spots. And I think that's the key determining factor here. Like, once he, it's the 10, the 3 for 1 port, the 6-3, the rest of his settle spots don't particularly do anything to enhance his game.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Definitely.
So I think it's very crucial for Sonic's game to get every single one of those settle spots. Losing even one could be detrimental to his game.
So we have a comment from Hangman 1305 who plays first here. Noisepond, blue went first, then green, then red, then black, and then all the way back reversed where it's black, red, green, and blue had the 8th settle. B Ramen 97 says, long time fan, first time commentator. Thank you for the comments. Can you explain in Fortnite terms, please?
Bro, can we not?
So Noisepond and Raymond are both longtime Victory Royale chasers. Definitely have been in the top competitors for a while. That's as far as I know about Fortnite crossovers with Catan.
Bro, honestly, I'm not even gonna try. That's all you.
I do love Fortnite though. I play Fortnite a lot, so maybe I'll stream that. I don't know. Who has best path to victory Royale? I would still believe it's Red. Red's in a great spot. I just like Red's position just because of how flexible they are with their ports and all 5 resources and 22 pips of production.
No, yeah, like that is a lot of production to work with. 5 resources too. Like genuinely on paper, EMTs looks like he has the scariest setup.
And everyone else is just slow. You know what I mean? Like Noisepond and Raymond are both without brick. Sonic is racing for his spots because it's extremely important for him to get these spots to win the game. So while doing that, he's not developing or kind of getting the edge on his game that he needs to, which is road, in my opinion. But it really depends on where he decides to expand.
Okay, so we're not blocking EMTs. I wonder if something happened there. Did Noisepond like offer him like a non-block or something? What's going on there? I guess his blocks aren't the best on EMTs, but like you would think maybe like the 10 orb would be okay there, right?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know what we're missing in voice chat. I did lower them slightly, but you can see them talking a little bit. A lot of confusing things that have gone on without us being as attentive towards VC, because I do think if there was no deal from Red and Green, Red should have immediately plowed Green and ended his game. But
No,
that's
yeah,
just my opinion.
No, I agree. I mean, there was definitely some sort of agreement there.
And
I
then
just
non-block.
don't know how that involves Noise not blocking.
Yeah, what is going on here? I guess Noise also sees that his competition for development cards is gonna be Raymond. Sonic did buy a development card, but it's probably just because their hand was a little bit stuck. I don't think Sonic has any juice when it comes to outpacing the other 2 players in terms of.
No, I agree. I agree. I think Sonic more so did that just to, for flexibility reasons. Sonic is also one of those players that's like, I'm just playing BTT, guys. Like, I feel like every single game I play with Sonic, they're just like, don't like attack me or rob me. I'm just playing BTT, and I'm like, yeah, sure you are, buddy. And sometimes he does end up playing BTT and wins because of it, but like, I think the reality is it's just like a reason to like deter attention early. He's like, oh no, I'm just playing BTT, and I'm like, but the reality is you will eventually go for something.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that kind of touches on like one of my favorite aspects of this game is table talk. The banter, everything that comes with selling, underselling, overselling your position a little bit, where the other players make bad in-game decisions to block you, solo you, share the block, whatever the case is. Raymond and Sonic, I know, are big table talkers. Raymond likes to formulate and create a lot of deals. Sonic is definitely one that tries to undertalk his position, but it's a strategy. You know what I mean? You definitely have to have that balance where the other table like understands where you're coming from and keeps your words at value, but also kind of is aware of the game, how it's developing, and if you deserve a block here and there despite your undersold position.
Yeah. Also, again, like we were saying before, like not every game it happens where you have the obvious road army dynamics already forming out of placements. So it's very cool to sort of see that already, and that's probably why Noisepond is attacking Rayman and Sonic would be attacking EMTs. So I think that's genuinely the idea that's going on here. But I think at the same time, it's like EMTs just has the flexibility to just take off, while everyone else is just kind of doing their own thing. And again, I get it. There's definitely competition going on, but there won't be competition if one of the four players just pulls away. So.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I believe I adjusted your volume slightly. Oscar0266 made that comment for adjustment, so thank you. We're playing around with the new setup in terms of everything, and especially with audio, so thank you guys for being patient, especially in the past. There's been some problems, but we're here now. Thank you, way better. Love to hear it. Okay, great. So not much has developed. Raymond has decided to just play it safe and point his road to the 3-for-1 port. I love that decision. It's just safer, and 3-for-1, I believe is just way better in his position, even with the wood port. Because the wood port is very limiting, right? Like, both noisepond and Raymond are both depending on the 8 wood to even have that port be efficient. And that's after they start developing further, where the settle on the wood port produces that double wood and is one resource for them, because they're really not expanding anymore unless they get a road builder or anything. As easy, at least. And EMTs is just completely self-efficient. Sonic did get his settle, which is big. I feel like there had to have been a deal. There's no way EMTs did not plow. If anything, maybe Sonic made a trade with EMTs, but we'll have to go back and look at that.
Yeah, Rayman just traded a brick. What's going on there? Like what could possibly be going on there?
That is a good point out, Aggron. He did
I
trade a
think-
brick.
Okay. Actually, I think what happened was okay. I see what's going on. Sonic made him a brick, and that was the deal with getting Sonic to settle.
Gotcha.
So it's a 2-for-1 trade back. Okay, I get it. That's good. I was like, bro, Rayman is never trading brick. There's no way.
So that means Raymond's getting close to settling. If his brick is kind of floating around there, which that's what it looked like. So he gave him insurance, basically, right?
What is this for?
In terms of development cards, noisepond does have 2 development cards compared to Raymond. They are tied in terms of army pacing, but you'd imagine noisepond has better pacing with at least 1 knight in his hands. Sonic has not done anything with his current development card, which I believe the 5 sheep was blocked, so that's something to keep an eye on, that Sonic has a non-knight. Maybe the 5...
EMTs with the city. Okay. See, again, this is what we were talking about. How if we're not slowing down EMTs, things are going to get out of control pretty quickly.
Yeah. And if
I
they
think
did...
we're already kind of seeing that.
Yeah, if noisepond blocked the 5 sheep to then test either Raymond or... I believe probably their devs, right? That's what I imagine he probably did. It's kind of a risk that has a lot of consequences if Sonic cannot move it, which he didn't, and if EMTs just continue to develop without any, contest.
No, like any
none.
disruptions.
Yeah,
Like, the main reason, for hitting him is so that way you're disrupting his production flow a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And, the 8 is a free card now with the city. And it's going to be very easy for EMTs to then city the 693. And then he's just playing road. Right? I mean, I imagine he then builds to the 8-3.
For sure.
Or even the 9-10-2. It just really depends what gives him the best road network. I think the 9-10-2 might be a little bit limiting if he does go that direction to then connect down with his other settlement. or with his other cities and 2 roads, but we'll see what he does.
Yeah.
I can also see like a road settle on the ore port, and then him wrapping the 6 and connecting on the bottom on the coast. But
Yeah, potentially for sure. And like this 10-9-2 and the 5-2 are still very open for grabs here.
Anyone have a brick?
yeah, so noisepond is trying to hustle for this brick, which if he's asking for the brick now, I imagine he has the road settle in hand.
Yeah, it's probably a yacht play, I imagine, because Noise and Ray did just do a trade. I think it was like 2 wood for a week. So
Yeah.
Do you want to?
this definitely looks like a yacht play, but I still think Noise is pretty behind here. Like the production isn't quite there yet. The wood port only gives him so much flexibility. It's not looking great.
It's not. Noisepond at least has the better chance for army that I see right now.
Yes, he definitely is pacing on Ray currently. I don't know how long that can last.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Actually, well, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Do you think he has a knight? He did roll a 7. So and I believe he was at 7 cards. So maybe that's why he didn't play a knight there.
2 sheep and an ore for a brick. Okay, yeah, this definitely has to be worthwhile for Noise to be doing that.
That's a big trade.
I mean, like, this just screams I have a Yop. You know, Yop or road building.
Yeah.
One of the two. Although, 2 sheep and an ore to Sonic. I believe that would put Sonic relatively close to the city. He might have rolls for it. So... Yep, road building. Okay. Woodport. And... Oh, okay. Not even going to bother with potentially risking the 10-9-2.
I don't think he needs the 9-10-2. I like the...
I honestly don't think he does either.
Yeah, I like the road the road on the 5 just because ore will be more important to him very quickly in this game because he needs cities.
Agreed.
So when I do play ore with sheep, sometimes I do make the mistake of primarily just buying development cards. I get ahead in the army, but then I'm a little bit behind with my competition later because a lot of people like to prioritize getting their cities up first. I believe you're one of those players who definitely hustles and will save for cities. And
yes, I genuinely value buffing my production first before going for a win condition. Usually.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how quickly Noisepond and Raymond both get a city.
Mm-hmm.
Because I now that they each have their respective port.
I mean, the thing that I'm still worried about is, like, EMTs is almost completely unchecked, but it's sort of, like, difficult to block him, unless if you just hit the 8, right? Like, you know, the 8 and the 6 are the big hitters. So, my question is, when is the game going to get to the point where we do solo?
I think it really depends. I think what maybe the board is thinking about is worst case, they feed Sonic Road, but I have no idea how they're gonna do that with none of them on brick. Basically, I guess like his 9 brick paired with their 8 wood gives them a chance to kind of.
I think what they're hoping for here is eventually they'll start soloing that 8 brick, and then hopefully the 8 wood rolls, and hopefully Sonic's 9 rolls.
Yeah, I do see the 8 brick solo coming soon.
Yeah, I mean, that would at least make sense from a logical feeding perspective, but it's still a little concerning.
Yeah.
Noisepond looking good. He needs army. Yeah. I think generally at this point in the game, both Rayman and Noise are thinking about when do they deter to start saving for the city, right?
I think that's what they're doing now. I really do think so. Like Raymond has not bought development cards for a little bit. He's prioritized that red settle, which I love. So I do think they're each kind of respectively saving for their cities.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And if you're Rayman, the city is probably the 843, I imagine. The 4 is very high value there. The 5611 is higher production, but I think just passing up on the ore city is probably not a good idea.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they needed to find more tasks because the noise has got already like one night, probably the second one. And
Well, I mean, like I said,
So EMTs want Raymond to buy more devs.
I mean, it makes sense that EMTs would want that because then that means Rayman, goes without the production buff for a bit longer.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think
sense.
if EMTs isn't just straight up feeding him the devs, there's no reason for Rayman to do that.
Completely agree. Because they each need a city to have any kind of edge in this game, and
Exactly.
with EMTs having the only city, he will win this. They will win this game.
I mean, usually when you're playing Road, the city is sometimes the hard part.
Yeah.
I'd say usually it is the hardest part of playing Road because most setups end up getting into this 5 settles Road mentality, and if you don't build the city quick enough, you fall behind, and then once you get those 5 settles, it's difficult to, have the table ignore you, and they're just like, oh, if you get the city, we're done. Because then
Yeah,
it's just
definitely.
another settle on a pop, potentially.
Definitely, that makes a lot of sense.
So I think getting out the way early makes a lot of sense for pretty much any road game. Usually between the 3rd and 4th settle, I'd say is the best point to build the city as the road player.
Yeah. So
You need support?
I think it's basically confirmed that Sonic has a non-knight. I imagine a VP. A mono would be huge, but a VP is more likely, and an early VP is very tough in the beginning of the game, especially with Sonic's position. But I think we can safely say he's at 4 points, if not 3, with a mono. There hasn't been a lot of progress in terms of his position besides the road to the 3-for-1, which makes sense why he goes there next. Going back to your point of you never think Raymond beats him to the 6-3, even if Sonic prioritizes the 3-for-1, so that makes a lot of sense as well. Noise Pawn, I'm sure is deciding between. Okay, yeah. So he buys a development card. He needs army, and if Raymond's gonna save for the city, he kind of needs that slight lead. I think if he doesn't have the city this turn.
Okay, nice. So we're finally seeing a solo block. Sonic moving it off of the what was it? The 10 onto the 6 wood. So that's good. That's good.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the 8 brick is the only solo. Like, what does the 6 wood do? Like, it gives you two wood in your hand, but if I'm EMTs, I care more about the 8 brick because that keeps me flexible, right?
I think I agree with that, but yeah. I'm just glad that they're finally paying attention to the elephant in the room here.
Yeah, definitely. Seems like EMT should have been blocked a long time ago, at least.
I agree.
Yeah, maybe not a solo, but definitely blocked because the 5 sheep.
I mean, just like a couple robs to disrupt his production, right?
Yeah.
It just feels like he fell really under the radar somehow, and it makes no sense.
Definitely. Sonic did get their settle.
Mm-hmm.
But you're recording?
So Sonic used their dev. What was their dev?
Sonic had a knight.
Interesting. So I have played with Sonic many times in the past, and he has made reference to this kind of play. So Sonic is a player who will use a knight strategically in terms of like fishing for a specific card, like extorting this in a specific situation. When Sonic is blocked, which I should have remembered, Sonic doesn't necessarily have a non-knight if he keeps the knight on his specific tile spot, which the knight being on the 10 or makes sense to kind of stun EMTs a little bit, but how I play, and I just think, just my general opinion is, if you have a knight and you're blocked, I think you get more out of that development card by unblocking yourself sooner than not, in terms of like, or instead of like losing those like resources if you do roll the 10.
I think the way I see it, it's high risk, high reward, right? Because
Yep.
obviously, if you're using the knight a little bit more strategically than immediately playing it, you may be getting more value out of it later on. However, if you keep the spot blocked, you risk resource production blocked, which is also a pretty big risk.
Yeah.
So I think both have reasons. I think it's more so that I lean towards your perspective where I want to unblock it immediately. But if I have the resource in my hand already, or if I don't need it for whatever I'm going for, then maybe I leave it blocked for a couple of turns.
Definitely. That makes sense. So we got a nice road settle from Raymond. Raymond chose the 3-10-11 over the 6-3, which
Interesting.
I think is okay. The 6-3 doesn't do.
I wonder if Rayman
much
did
more.
that to kind of deter attention away from the 6-3.
Gotcha.
But I don't think he's getting blocked right now anyway. So I don't really get that play.
Yeah, and it's an even 7-7 in terms of production, but maybe it just he figures he could still get 6-3 later, but that kind of limits noise a little bit. So then
I don't know. I feel like you'd rather increase your wheat production than your sheep production. I feel like the 3-10-11 is prioritizing the sheep production, not the wheat production.
that's true.
I think that's my personal problem with it.
I guess also getting on a different number, seeing that he's already
Yes.
on the 6 and the 3 makes sense also.
Yeah,
Getting more
there's
attention.
definitely some value to number diversity here too. It's actually definitely not a clear cut decision.
Yeah.
I think just personally how I would play it, I would go to the 6-3.
Yeah, I get that. I get the core part.
And noisepond needs a big development card here. Army is great in his position, but I still believe he needs more if he doesn't get a city soon.
Yeah.
Because he's just gonna fall. He's just gonna fall behind.
I'm not sure you're saying that. You're saying I do a week for whatever one for one. You trade it right back. You trade it right back to the card that was quoted for you. Okay, so I'm not getting it.
Yeah. So
So you give him 2 sheep and a wheat for any card called an owl. Trading 3 cards for one card. Yeah, then I port service, then I take your 2 sheep and I port for whatever card you
So
want.
Sonic is offering Raymond port service. Basically, like
Right.
he wants 3 cards from Raymond to port 2 of them and then get his card.
Oh, that sounds correct.
He's kind of pulling a
That
reverse.
sounds horrendous.
It's funny. It's funny that Raymond says that because literally Raymond offers those trades all the time, and that is like Raymond's like bread and butter.
Oh, ooh. I don't know if I agree with that city choice from Sonic.
Yeah, I
I think
completely
I much
agree.
prefer
That's
the 5-9-10.
100% because he's on the sheep
Hmm.
port.
Is it possible he already has an ore in hand and he's thinking that I could roll a 10 and a 6 and get the other city immediately? Maybe
I
that's
think-
what's going on.
I think he's also thinking probably like road production, right? Road material production, where he.
Yeah, I
eventually
mean,
will-
that does balance out his road production, but the problem is it's an 11 and a 12.
Yeah,
So,
no,
I
I
mean,
completely agree. It's the wrong city. I think the 5-9-10 is always the city there. Just production alone and the port situation, you go 5-9-10. But what I imagine his train of thought is, I can benefit from that 11 or 12 that rolls very few times to kind of keep up with EMT's road production. But completely agree, 5-9-10 should have been the city.
I think it's also a situation of I'm trying to city up the other one fast, and if I roll a 10 and a 6 back to back, I can get the next city.
Yeah.
Which I think is a fair way to look at it, but you got to be careful because if you don't get the city immediately, you're just stunting your progress significantly by doing so.
Julio. I just think the 5-9-10 also allows you to city quicker as well. Like if the 5 starts rolling.
It's one.
I can do a non-steal for non-steal.
Let's keep commenting about how bad the city is, so then we can debate with Sonic later in Jumo chat.
Alright, well,
Venus is chasing a moth right now. Yeah, interesting that they're like Raymond was going for a block, and we heard noisepond kind of speak up, saying no block, no steal. Noisepond should never be hit, so I feel like there's not even a reason for it.
No, yeah, I wouldn't
But-
think so.
Unless
I
he's
mean,
like
you know, I
super
get-
protecting his hand.
No, yeah,
You know?
like I get that they're competing, but I don't think Noise ever gets hit here anyway. So
No, not at all. If anything,
it's a little difficult to
Yeah.
justify giving Rayman anything. So
Raymond buys another development card. Still is without a city, and you'd imagine he's behind in the army race as well. Noisepond hasn't moved further besides popping an extra development card.
ooh,
I
Noise
still think
might
it's
not have a knight.
EMT's. I still think it's EMT's game to lose.
Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, Noisepond doesn't have a knight though. This potentially puts a wrinkle into the plans here because surely he would have played the knight there.
I agree. Because it's on his 4, right?
Yeah, and I don't believe he has any weed in his hand. It's possible he could be playing it like, oh, the 8 can be a weak spot for me, but I think the reality is if... Oh, they're pausing. Why are they pausing? Actually, this is a good opportunity for me. I'm out of water. I'll be back.
Nice. Go get your water. We want to thank Aggron again for joining the stream, as well as everyone for tuning in. I apologize for all the technical difficulties in the past. We are learning and growing. So thank you guys for being patient. It's very fun. I very much enjoy this. So thank you guys for tuning in and seeing these amazing players battle it out. We'll maybe get a new Division 1 champion, if not a new 2-time champion. So either way, it'll be very exciting. Right now, it's looking like EMTs is ahead in the game currently. Sonic's position looks fine in terms of how the board is placed out with his settles, ports, and city, but I do think incredibly stunted himself with that city on the 6, 11, 12. So I personally still think EMTs is in a better spot with Road, but it'll just determine what both players do and if my cat moves out of the screen.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back. So we have a comment from the Grandmaster himself, Hakuna Matata, who says Noise is in a great spot. I do agree that Noise.
I think it depends what the devs are.
Yeah,
Hakuna.
right. I completely I mean, if he doesn't have a knight, then what could he have? You know, besides like VPs. Because if he has VPs,
I mean, if it's something like
they're-
Mono 2VP, I'd say it's a great spot.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
a mono is
3VP could
important.
be a trap, though. 3VP could be a trap.
Do you
But if it's
almost-
like Mono 2VP, I'd say it's pretty good.
Yeah, I almost had the idea that maybe he had a good actionable development card. That's why he chose to not unblock himself before the roll. But he didn't play a dev card, and he as well did not unblock himself even after the roll. So very
Right.
interesting.
I think there's some genuine concern there because, like, when you get early VPs, it puts yourself in a very vulnerable position because it's like you're not playing devs, so obviously the table has suspicions what's going on. And if you're not playing devs, there's very few options of what it could be at that point besides the VPs. So it's
Definitely.
difficult to cover up, especially if it's early on. So this could put Noise in a bind very soon if he's not careful.
I agree. Hoping he doesn't have 3 VPs, because that would be very sad.
Yeah.
Not terrible, because he has 6 points,
I-
but he doesn't win the game with 3 VPs, I think.
I mean, obviously, never say never, but it puts him in a very awkward position with the table.
Yeah.
Because obviously EMTs is double cities.
Oh my
The
gosh.
production's great. The ports are good.
How does Aggron? How does EMTs lose this game? Like I
I
don't.
don't
There's
know,
no
man.
way.
I don't know how he's getting away with this. Bro, can I get away with this? Like,
So,
what's going on here?
both Sonic and EMTs have their double cities. Sonic is not looking bad anymore right now. Now that
No,
I feel like he's
I
corrected
think
that
Sonic's in a
mistake.
reasonable position himself.
Yeah, definitely. It really just depends on who gets road.
Mm-hmm.
And neither of those players will help feed another player, I think, because that is
No.
how each of them win this game.
Do you think Noise or Rayman potentially have a spot to pick there in terms of like who they decide to give room to?
It's just so tough with each of them having two cities. Like road player with one city is worse. Is bad
I
enough,
agree.
but
I
with
agree.
two cities, and both of them have the best ports besides the 3-for-1, which is.
I think the way this is developed has been very heavy on the pacing. Like it's gone very quickly for two of the players, and two of the players are sort of left behind on the production train. So
Yeah,
it's sort of tough to like Noise and Rayman need to be helping each other out, but it's difficult because they're going for the same win condition.
Yeah.
Maybe it's possible they could like trade each other's cities. Is that like a possibility?
So Raymond got the 6-3, which is huge, I believe. So his
It is huge.
risk to go 13-11 first paid off. I still think he would have had time with how Noisepond has developed. Maybe not, depending on
I think
his
so
cards
too.
in hand. But that definitely gives Raymond a good shot to kind of compete with both red and green here, EMTs and Sonic.
Yeah,
Noisepond needs a mono. He needs a mono to win this game.
it's definitely looking that way. So if it's like 2VP mono, I'd say he's still in it. If
Because-
not, it's going to be
yeah.
very difficult.
Because now
Um,
Raymond has pacing, right? Like we
Correct,
assume
yeah.
that Noisepond doesn't have a knight, so now he's 2 knights behind, right? Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. If he's not getting lucky with his development card.
I mean, but going back to EMTs, it's like how do you stop this? Like, obviously, Sonic's also in a good position, but I much favor EMT setup over Sonic's in terms of like the production and the flexibility. I think there's just too much going on there. Like, you know, you block one of the spots, he's going to roll one of the other spots. Like, it's difficult to maintain and control. It, like, you know, it got out of hand a little too quickly, in my opinion.
So interesting. Noisepond is offering wood for wheat, wood and sheep for brick. This kind of smells like a dirty mono, and that is very correctly and wisely pointed out by Rigatoni.
It could be, yeah, 100%.
Because why else? I guess unless he has only one wood, it makes sense for him to trade it. But even then,
Yeah, like yeah. So that's actually kind of smart. Instead of offering 2 wood, you disguise it by giving a sheep as well, and that might sort of disguise the mono play a little bit, right? Or maybe there's just not a mono play and we're just being dumb. Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, I think it's still very possible. You know, he has 3 non-knights. 3 VPs would be very unlikely, but also very unlucky.
I mean, if no one goes for road here, I mean, Noise could technically be at 9 with a couple roads played, but I think the reality of that is very slim. It's also just like, he just gets outproduced. So as soon as he builds those roads, it just gets taken from him. So that's not really a play.
I do believe one of them should start building roads pretty soon.
I think it'll be EMTs this turn. He did just roll an 8. I believe he has wood in his hand already. So it's looking very likely that some road building will happen this turn. Maybe 2 roads down from the 963 for the connect.
Do you think that's where he goes? Yeah, I think he starts building. I think he actually starts building from the 8 brick to the 8-3, just to kind of create that 4 network instead of the road settle. That doesn't do much.
For sure.
But
I think building 2 roads to 8-3 also makes a lot of sense here. I think it's like, how urgent do you think you need to take a road? And I don't think it's immediate urgency, so I think 8-3 makes more sense, actually.
Definitely.
3 roads at least in EMT's hand. He's about to fly. I mean, it's just, oh my god,
Oh,
he
he goes
just
to the
has
settle.
settle
He just
straight
goes to the
up.
settle.
Wait, so he literally goes to 9 with just 1 road. Dude, this game is
I
so
feel like
OP.
that's fine. Like it's risky not to take road, but no other player I think is close.
I don't
even
think
if they try
anyone's
to sneak it this
close.
turn, yeah.
Exactly.
EMT's setup and just how they developed
Dude,
this
it's too
game,
good. It's too
yeah,
good.
they've been ahead the entire time. The board should have focused on them a little bit earlier, in my opinion.
I think the setup's just much too strong to ignore at the gate. And I think that's the problem. Like, as soon as Noise and Rayman started robbing each other, I sort of sense this feeling of dread that, like, EMT's just, like, runaways with this. It's, you know, it's not a good feeling.
So, yeah, EMTs for the rest of the game just focuses on expanding, right? Like he connects
Yeah.
his 2 roads and then
100%.
potentially wraps if he needs to.
I mean, he only needs to get 1 more settle spot.
Yeah, so maybe building
So
2
you
roads.
could just build up to 6-2 and call it a day.
Exactly.
And then you take road for the win. That's it. So he essentially needs 4 roads and a settle to win the game.
Yep.
Like, that's not a lot considering his production. So this is going to be over very shortly.
Yeah, and Raymond is looking to buy a development card out here, obviously, to then take Army. I want to see a mono here by noisepond or something. Like noisepond needs.
I don't even know what he monos at this point. Because like you should be hurting EMTs.
Completely.
I think if the 8 rolls again, he needs to mono the brick out of EMT's hand.
Yep, I agree.
That's just far too volatile.
Yeah, that'd be a good correlated mono as well.
Mm-hmm. For sure, we give him some roads to go for. I'm just trying to think, like, if Noise doesn't have the mono, like, where does his game go? Because to be honest,
then he has to be on 3 VPs. Yeah, right. Like, there's no way he would have held on to like a road builder, a Yop, because he would have used.
Yeah, like I guess he's just like stuck at 7. Like it sucks, but it happens sometimes.
Yeah, Army almost seems lost, especially if he doesn't have a knight and Raymond just bought a development card.
Oh, 100%. Rayman probably gets Army this upcoming orbit.
The issue is I need break right now, unless the 9 rolls, I need break. And you
can't put like 2
how much do we have between all of us? I have 2.
Oh my god, they're trying to figure out how to save the game, but I feel like it's too late.
It's too late.
I feel like it's too late.
It's too late, yeah. I agree.
So we still have 4 wood right?
And the thing is, like, who could you possibly feed road to here in this game? You can't feed it to Sonic. He has 2 cities.
I mean, that's the only other option, though.
It's only if like noisepond
can
maybe
you feed
has
it
like
to
really
Noise?
weak
Like-
development cards, like maybe like 2 VPs and.
But that's the thing. If you feed Noise, he can't keep up with EMTs.
That's how that. Well, that's when the board I think would step in and kind of help him take road.
Yeah, but that's a dangerous aspect because I don't think there's a reality where Noise Pond can even.
Completely. Point is, it's just impossible for the board to feed a player road. Like Julio pointed out, it's too dangerous. It's too dangerous. Which means
I agree.
ENT will probably keep road.
Especially
Or win with
Noise City here. Yep, there's the city. So Noise Pond could be at 8 points here.
It would have been helpful if it took you 41.
Which after that, you know, the Grandmaster
Yeah,
may
yeah,
have been
obviously.
right. Yeah, may have been right because then he just needs 2 cities and he actually can do that with his production. So now that he has a city, I feel better about Noisepond's position.
Oh,
EMT
absolutely.
has
I mean,
10 cards.
his rolls are good, but I don't think it's going to be enough to catch EMTs.
Yeah, and if he does have 3 VPs, then that means EMT for sure probably should
Because-
not, you know, buy
Because the
development
way
card.
I'm looking at it, the only 2 rolls that EMTs doesn't benefit from that Noise Pond is on is the 11 and the 5. So if any of the other roles roll, it's difficult to justify that noisepond is in a good position because EMTs is getting just as much, if not better, from those roles.
Definitely,
So
definitely.
I have one sheep.
if it's 5 and 11, sure, I could potentially see this being pretty close, but I just think EMTs just wins before anything happens.
It would be interesting. Okay, so maybe Sonic is gonna play, or well, he has to. That's how he wins this game with the
Well,
road
yeah,
play.
of course,
And
Kelly,
it's
but-
better actually for the table if he takes road like this, where he doesn't open up the settle spot, right? By connecting, because he goes to 8 points and then he has a road settle on the 3-for-1, if any. That gives the table time.
I mean, of course, Kelly. Obviously, the idea is to extend the game as much as possible to give everyone as many chances to catch up. But I think the reality is they caught on too late, and it's just not going to be enough.
For me, it's four of my cards. Five, we just got it. You're going to 8. I'm giving you. I'm not giving you more cards. 2, 3. No, give me a
So they're basically, it sounds like they're basically kind of working out how Sonic is going to take road and how cheap or expensive it should be for
Oh,
each
no.
side. If if Sonic's taking road, then I don't think Sonic should benefit from it by having, an extra card or two in his hand. It should almost empty his hand, especially if somebody like Raymond is feeding it without the city. Because Raymond's at 7
I mean, the idea is to empty
without
their
city.
hand,
more cards
Yeah.
for you.
but the reality is Sonic has the leverage here. Rayman doesn't have the leverage. So if Rayman wants the game to continue, I think he has to do what Sonic says.
This
Otherwise,
Yeah, I mean, this gives Sonic, though, 8 points compared to his 7, and Raymond still has no cities. Yeah, I think emptying his
Oh,
hand.
yeah. Okay. So Sonic's hand was burned, so that's good. The 9 rolls, that could be big, maybe.
Very.
I'm not sure. The
I
game
wouldn't
doesn't
be
just end here.
surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if EMTs buys a development card if they don't have a lot of roads in hand.
I mean, 12 cards. I mean, we're definitely looking at something big here.
EMTs offers a trade, immediately embargoed by Raymond.
I
Like
mean,
noisepond
of course.
already embargoed him.
I mean, the idea is just no one's really that close to him, so you definitely can't trade with the man.
Yeah, but yeah, for sure. Once Sonic though builds that road to the left on the 3-for-1 11 wood, I'd be kind of like a little worried about that too, because Sonic then gets close because he cities very easily as well with his production after the settle. But we'll see how this goes.
At that point, it's just going to come down to rolls.
Yeah. EMTs. It'll be very interesting what they do here.
But I think the issue I foresee here is EMTs is just on a hard 7. Sonic's at 8 with road. Like there's definitely a bit of discrepancy there.
Yeah.
And with the 10 ore blocked, Sonic doesn't exactly have the easiest path to make cities, so it's a little tough.
Yeah. For sure. And
I
Julio
think
made a
that
good
might be what keeps the balance here for a little bit more.
and Julio made a great point. You want to just like road settle or get your settle first before trying to connect, because once you get to 8 points, you just win the game with road. It's better to up your production and get on an extra number or 2.
Oh my god! So he's basically one road off of winning.
Aggronite on 7 cards to the 8.
Yeah.
The 8.
I think the only saving grace now is they block the 8 rolls, and they feed Sonic 3 roads. Otherwise, it's over.
Alright.
And the issues that still arise are the fact that EMTs just has better production than Sonic with the road material. I feel like there's just not much.
Yeah, I think this game is over. EMTs should win this game. Because now EMTs cares about nothing else but road. And their setup is so flexible. And the production is there where I don't see how EMTs loses this game.
Oh yeah, like I 100% agree. The settle first makes a lot of sense. There's not really a priority to get road immediately because they'll just keep feeding Sonic. And the idea is you set yourself up at 8 points to just take road from him via the connect.
Yeah, definitely.
Will you leave me the 4? Actually, I don't care about the 4.
Shoutouts to Byron for helping me become a semi-competent road player.
Shout out Byron for just being an awesome guy. Byron's a great guy.
Oh yeah, dude, Byron's
shout
great,
out.
dude.
Very, very lucky and fortunate. I consider myself that I've been able to meet both you, Byron, noisepond, Rigatoni, Vamos, Kelly.
Squash.
Go down the list. It's amazing playing online together, but also when you have that like
Of course.
face-to-face
Like, in person,
interaction,
it's just a
it's
whole
so
different
fun.
vibe.
It's so fun, yeah. When I can hug you guys in person, that's my favorite thing.
Hell yeah, man.
So Robin says EMTs definitely could have got to the wheat port, and it could have been a little bit more important for his game in terms of flexibility.
I think that's a fair point, Robin,
Yeah.
and I definitely mentioned early on EMTs could have went like 10-9-2 up to the 5-2. And I think there is value to that play, but I think the way he played it is perfectly reasonable as well.
I think he's saying like instead of the road to the ore port to connect.
Well, I think maybe there was too much going on between Sonic and EMTs early on to maybe consider that type of play. But I don't think what EMTs did was bad at all.
Yeah, so EMT.
It definitely kept him a little bit under the radar, apparently. Like, it must have worked, because here we are in a position where man only needs one road to win the game.
Yeah, and this is so gross because the board basically has to feed Sonic to build more roads. Excuse me,
Right.
to prevent the connect by EMTs, but then that also opens up settle spots for Sonic. And just like when you're playing the road game, the road battle, which I personally am not the strongest in, and I hate, it's just very hard to like balance the board where the other players are basically feeding Sonic these materials to extend their game, but also hurting themselves from, moving forward at all in this game.
I mean, I've talked about this before, but I think the reality with Road is it's a much more volatile win condition. Obviously, there's setups that can benefit playing Road much more significantly, like your side-by-sides, something like what EMTs is doing here, where he's kind of just like going along the coast. But I think the reality is Road is just a very volatile win condition, and there's no such thing as an uncontested Road.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, but what if you don't? No, I don't.
So how many sheep are left?
I have one.
Yeah, I guess noisepond has 3 VPs. Like,
Right now,
noisepond
Dude,
definitely.
it's honestly crazy.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
so
if his
sad.
rolls,
Yeah.
if his rolls somehow
now
managed to pop off, like he definitely could have had a game here.
100%.
We'll work on the last one.
Yeah, Sonic extends to an open settle, but he still needs 2 roads, I think, to tie. And that's only if EMTs builds 1 road, right? Because he goes to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 road takes him to 9. So he needs, like...
I mean, if he can get
EMT
one more
just win this
road,
turn?
that might keep it safe.
9
The problem
cards.
is the rolls are just so volatile. Like 4 brick from an 8, 4 wood from a 6. Like it's crazy, dude. Like even the ore port here could be detrimental because that'll turn into a brick. Like
And the 6 wood is a
it's
great
insane.
roll,
How do you
but
stop this? How do you stop this?
but the 8 is just so big. So like when the 6 was soloed earlier by someone, I forgot who.
Sonic.
Yeah, that was also a mistake. Because the brick is how Sonic takes road.
I think so too. Yeah. I don't know, man. I just think they caught on to this way too late, and now they're paying the price for it.
No, but the problem is I can't get it back how you want.
Because look at like how much trading they have to do to like stay afloat for maybe another orbit.
Yeah.
Maybe. But it's very unlikely that they actually do survive this orbit.
Yeah, so EMTs needs 3 roads with 11 cards. We'll see.
I mean, he could just say screw it and just start building to 10. Like, that's definitely a reality too. Could be a.
I chose comfort because no, it's not even close to me.
I don't know about not even close, but you're definitely getting there, buddy.
A little close. Yeah, close. I would say close.
Not really. No, I think
And his setup is like so
no way.
well developed in terms of like his road production as well, where he can just wrap either the 8 or the 6.
Has to work on settle spots in the city, so
Yeah, it's like 2 more roads. Put his road length at what, 13? Yeah, I mean, as soon as he wraps, it's over. 12. Sorry, 12.
Raymond could be a 9 here. That's a huge city for him, especially this late in the game. Also, shout out to Robin making that very, very smart call out an orbit or 2 earlier where EMTs ported 4 wheat without having any 3-for-1 port and only got 1 wood from there. That could have been a road, so that could have been game.
Keep in mind that Rayman is incentivized to feed as many cards to Sonic as possible because that's how Rayman wins.
Yeah,
Should I play
definitely.
Knight here, do you think? But I like it on the 8th.
Raymond says, "Should I play Knight here?" So he's at 8. Or do we not believe him? I believe Raymond. I believe he's
Nah, I
at
believe.
8.
I think he has a knight. I feel like moving it could be a bad idea. I don't think he should move it. He also only has 1 card in hand, so it's not like whatever he grabs will make his hand become actionable. Yeah, that's a good call. Just
And
pass.
noisepond is getting no rules. It's so
Oh my
painful.
goodness.
Yeah, it's so painful.
I mean, I definitely feel for him, but we sort of saw this situation coming, right? When you pull those early VTs, it puts yourself in a state of pure vulnerability.
Definitely.
No, I know, but you have rules for it, obviously.
So noisepond needs, excuse me, Sonic needs at least 1 more road here.
Mm-hmm. Have any monos been played at all?
Not that
I
I've
don't think
seen.
so.
Yeah, not that
I don't
I've
think
seen,
so.
actually.
I don't think I've seen a mono yet, so there's still 2 monos out there. I mean, barely any devs have been bought, like 8 or 9 devs.
Yeah, which also makes it
Dev deck still have 3
extremely,
question marks.
yeah, it also makes it extremely hard to like pull for the win, assuming
Of course,
that
of course.
noisepond has 3 VPs.
I mean, he's got it, right? Like,
Yeah.
what else could he be potentially holding the devs for?
Yeah, definitely.
Has to be great.
Yeah, I think you just need your wood. I'm playing 3 roads. Real quicker coming from me. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair. What do you think? What? If he's extending. Yeah. That's okay. And you guys are each getting a weed.
I don't know. If I'm noisepond, I'm never contributing to any of this like extension game unless I'm benefiting greatly from it, or if it's like the only way that Sonic extends. So it should only come from Raymond. Even though they're basically even, I guess they're both at 8 points, assuming that Raymond has a 9.
Keep
and
in
noisepond
mind,
has
Sonic just needs 4 roads to just lock a road.
Oh,
So
really?
maybe there's a reality there?
Yeah, I agree.
Does he lock road?
Yes, he would lock road with 4 roads.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a reality there, but or even if that's something that you even want. But I think
Yeah, you're right. 4 roads. Yeah.
I mean, if that happens, there's definitely a chance.
That's a, yeah. I mean, like it's it makes
I
Sonic's
just
position
don't
so
know if that's
strong,
a
but
reality.
that's like
I just don't
how
know if that's a
they.
reality. Okay, 2 roads.
Okay, so actually, when he finishes the loop, how many is that? 1, 2, 3.
He'll finish the loop. He gets 12 roads. So where Sonic is right now.
No rules for I have rules and then women
EMT says he has no rolls. Sonic has 1 card. Doesn't make sense.
Keeps his road, and it's just good.
Because EMT's wraps and then goes to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. So EMT just needs 3 roads to win still, right?
Mhm.
6, 4, 6.
I
Yep,
mean,
3
Yeah,
roads.
EMTs will need 3 roads now to take it.
There's just no reason to wait.
Obviously, Sonic is
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
persuade
yeah,
you
yeah.
to
Of
give more
course, of
roads.
course, of course, Sonic wants that, but 7 is huge here.
Oh, the
3.
3.
Another
Okay,
another
okay.
another reason why Inger Robin is just at that big brain Catan like level where calling out that wheat port is actually pretty big.
I
Could
think
matter
late game.
down the line.
I think late game it's probably better than just being on the 6-2. But I think the reward risk there is a little bit detrimental because obviously EMTs is trying to snatch up road for the win here. In
Yeah.
order to do that, if you build a road on the 2 brick, it sort of makes it a little bit harder to solidify your road network.
I guess you could just like wrap the 8 though. The 8 brick is what.
You could,
Yeah.
but
Like
then
just like the only dead road is the
oh, okay, yeah. Actually, I see
693
what you're saying. You
road.
could build 3 roads from the 4810 to the 963, and then build up to the 52. Okay, okay, yeah.
15 cards. Like, so okay, yeah. Him not having a usable port besides the brick and the ore port is probably really big here. Another reason why Robin was right, I think. So it doesn't look like he has the win, and he's basically, I'm sure, kind of thinking about, yeah, okay, so I think he's gonna dip on. Oh, he
Okay.
decides to buy
Ev,
development card.
I'm not sure about that one. It seems pretty obvious that Noise is holding on to 3 VP.
Well, I think EMTs. Yeah, I think I definitely would have like cityed if he could, but I don't think he could have cityed.
Oh my god, the 10's huge for Sonic. Wait, hold on. That's actually so big for Sonic.
So I think EMTs is thinking that the table's gonna lock road with Sonic. If not, like this turn soon after that, and EMTs won't win.
I mean, if
Won't be able to
Noise
grab
or
those extra
Sonic
2
rolls,
points.
if Noise or Sonic rolls a 6 here, that could be huge for Sonic.
I really hope Noise is like slow playing the like gigantic mono that he needs to really have a huge point swing here.
I mean,
the 10 is,
I don't.
yeah,
I just don't think he has it.
I
Like,
don't know. I don't know.
I feel like he would have played it by now.
This is shaping out to be a really good game, though. Everyone's
Of
basically
course,
at
of
8
course.
points, right? At least Raymond could be at 9. EMTs could be at 9.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah,
I would
we
expect
knew-
nothing less from a Div 1 final.
Yeah, we knew Raymond, and these are the best kind of games, right? The ones that are like completely, or not completely, but at least the best attempt to be balanced, where everyone has a fighting chance. And I think Raymond, Kelly made a comment earlier that Raymond will do whatever he needs to ensure the game continues to give himself a chance. So
Yep.
yeah, it's been a great game so far.
And sometimes that's all you need, just like that knowledge and level of understanding of like what exactly you need to do to keep the game going. Whether it's convincing another player to play your cards, it's sort of like burning your hand a bit to like each time specific cards to like port for specific cards. Like there's definitely some underlying untouched meta there. I think is a little bit prototype phase, right? Like it's prototype. You know, obviously you're still playing for yourself. The idea of extending allows the game to go for as long as possible. Which gives you the best statistical chance for your numbers.
Definitely, definitely.
So there's definitely a bit of untapped potential there.
Yeah, actually, I just noticed this, like this second. All of a sudden, Aggron, you're echoing. I'm not sure where that came from.
Why am I echoing? Why would I echo?
For an ore trade? Yeah.
Oh, actually, everyone's echoing.
Uh-oh. That's not good. That's not
Well,
good.
if I get red and red have.
I'm happy it's not on my end, but that's not good for you.
Oh no, guys. I don't know what happened. I didn't touch anything.
Oh man, at the very end of the game too.
Okay.
Did I open my stream?
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you have a good chance with that because you.
Yeah, I'm not echoing.
Well, that's why I was offering you the card.
if
So if I get an orc from red, then
Maybe
you're
it's the
not
VC.
taking it. Okay. Okay, that's fine.
You're not like red, you get
Hey, I'm not so sure about that because, like,
So what did you take?
so that
Yeah,
actually
I'll-
really confuses. Wait, like that actually really confuses me because I feel like I'm like the only person that hasn't ran into this issue yet, where everyone in the VC just starts echoing. At a
All of a
random
sudden
time.
it stopped. I literally did not touch anything.
Stopped?
Yeah, I didn't touch anything. I've just been like looking at the screen very confused. But
Dude, I don't even know. I don't even know. Let's
we're
just-
gonna
let's
we're
just-
gonna take the win.
Wait, whoa. Wait. Okay, so Noise is at 9 all of a sudden and just tried to pop for the win.
Yeah, so he built a city
Okay.
there and then popped another development card.
Imagine 4 VP. Good lord.
That would be insane. It could be very possible that EMTs pulled one. I know that EMTs, when they bought a development card earlier, the first one, they were like, oh, I heard an O from them. So I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know what that O implies, though.
Yeah, I have wood and a bunch of sheep, so I think an 8 does win it.
I feel like it's a little dangerous to take the player's reaction a little too far out of context.
Yeah, so Swood made
Yeah.
a question about their development cards. Both Raymond, EMTs, these are all fresh devs, so they have not been played at all, and they were bought on their past turn. So whether or not they're VPs, we're not sure.
And we suspect Noise is sitting on 3 VP.
Yeah, we suspect Noise on 3 VPs, and then he also bought an extra development card. Yeah.
Basically the whole game he's been on 3 VP. Hurts.
Which, I mean, he's at 9 points now. Like,
Of course.
Noise is on 9.
But it definitely could have ended badly.
yeah, and the
Noise.
Grandmaster himself did point out that Noisepond was his favorite to win this game. Maybe there's some big brain predictions. I'm not sure. So there hasn't been any monos that we've seen played Swood. I believe there was an earlier Yop.
So Sonic did just roll 2 wood. So, oh, is this locking road? He only needs 1 more road to lock road. This could be big. Oh, wow. He locked road. That's
Yeah.
huge.
So it makes sense why EMTs kind of like pivoted right in auto from.
Of course. Knowing that the
Oh
table's
my-
doing whatever they can.
Aggron, he settled.
What? He settled?
Nice
Okay, hold
scam.
on. Wait, maybe, just maybe, there's a little bit of big brain thought to that.
So
So,
okay.
you know, he
what-
gets to 13 roads, right?
No.
So, how many roads does EMTs need? He needs 4 roads.
Yeah, and so the only risk that I saw with Sonic doing that is if EMTs pulled a road builder, but EMTs just played a knight, so that's safe. EMTs are gonna keep buying development cards. There's so many knights out. Oh, big city, EMTs.
Oh my god, there's the 8. Oh, it's gonna be a nail biter. City. Is that it? Yep,
Wow,
that's it. Okay.
Jeez.
Rayman is a 2-time champion now.
2-timer.
That's crazy. That's crazy. What a game. What a game. Super close. Super
Okay,
close.
now you're echoing again. I have no idea what is going on.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Rudder.
What a great game, though. Seriously, 10-9-9.
Oh my god, dude, that game was fantastic. Good shit.
Wow, guys. GG's.
Someone take a screenshot of the dice stats and then the point.
Okay, so here are the
Oh my
dice
god,
stats.
what are these dice stats?
Yeah, here are the dice stats.
What is this?
Only 2 sevens?
It's crazy that this game was only 56 turns.
What in the world?
no wheat killed me.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, these dice stats are kind of insane. Now I'm echoing. What is going on? Aggron, do you...
So, Noise, what was your reaction to getting all those VPs early on in the game? Were you like, oh, this is good, or oh, this is really bad? I'm sure there's, like, a bit of both going on in your mind at that point.
Yeah, after the first one, I was kind of bummed by. Once I kept getting, I don't know, each one I got. I think by the second one, I just accepted that I wasn't getting army.
Mhm.
And then the third one, third one at that point is like whatever. At this point, like I had such a good chance to win this game. I just didn't hit the rolls in the end.
Agreed. I think it sort of got to a point where it's like, you just gotta hit the rolls, and unfortunately they didn't pull through.
Yeah, my 5 hit early, and then I've had no wheat, and then at the end of this game, like I got wheat, and then my 5 didn't hit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
like they hit.
Yeah, but I mean, still an amazing game. Pulling 3 VPs that early, still being able to get to 9 points and pull for the win.
Yeah. It is what it is. It's kind of a funky game. You know. At least we were like, I'm glad at least we were able to feed the rogues. I thought that game would just end early.
No, like,
Yeah, definitely.
The thing is, all I needed to do was settle on the wheat, and I built an extra roll in the wrong place. The moment I clicked the settlement on the 6-2, I thought, wait, I should have settled.
What happened to Aggron? Aggron just vanished.
That's very true.
And then I got a bunch of wheat 2 times.
I have a feeling Aggron's input or output might have been the echo, because I don't hear the echo at all anymore.
Just needed to get on the fourth.
We'll talk about that in the Twitch channel, in the Twitch chat, that you didn't go to the wheat board.
Mhm.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I just didn't even consider it until I saw it was there.
Yeah, guys, an amazing game. It was a very fun one to both watch and commentate. Raymond, congrats, 2-time champion. Love to see it. Very well deserved and a long time coming. So,
I think Raymond's
Yeah.
been hitting hard with consistent sets in champs lately, and he's been grinding hard, so it's good to see that work finally pay off.
yeah, it definitely was a great game from the very start. Aggron and I definitely had EMTs winning this game from the beginning just because of their position and also the earlier 5 sheep block, I believe, which I think noisepond was just testing Sonic and Raymond's devs, maybe.
He made a mistake.
No, it was an accident. It
Oh, it was a
an
mistake?
accident.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, it was just an accident. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I did-
I was scrolling down on it and it just clicked it. Like I was scrolling, and it just.
Okay. I did have a question for Sonic, or sorry, EMTs. We might have missed it, but was there a deal of some sort to not road settle on the sheep port?
Yeah.
Yeah,
there
there
was.
was.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, there had to be, because they did a trade, and then EMTs went somewhere else to get the road settle.
Oh, I just
Yep.
saw that, like, so 4 and 11 didn't roll for wheat, which sucked, and then I saw 3 just rolled 9 times.
Yeah, and these dice stats are kind of insane. 2 7s.
These dice stats make no sense. I mean, it's a 56 turn game, so I guess there's some validity to it, but this is rough. This is really rough. Like, this is what you describe very out there.
Yeah. Also, Sonic, so your first city on the 6, 11, 12, I'm sure there is
Oh
some,
yeah, let's talk about that.
I'm sure there's some great thought instead of sitting the 5, 9, 10. And what we were kind of talking about is we kind of saw maybe your plan was to up your wood production for a future road battle. Was that where your mind was going, or?
Yep. Yeah. Also, like the wheat just helps me dev and settle, so I can get settles and devs rather than just a second city.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I mean, I personally thought you did it because you had 1 ore in your hand after sitting up, and it would allow it so that way if you rolled a 10 and a 6 back to back, it would just give you the immediate second city.
Well, and also then the 10 gets blocked a lot. So
It was also, I was counting the cards I'd lose on the 10 block. Also, yeah.
That's fair. I mean, there's definitely some validity to your city, but I don't know. 5, 9, 10 just feels much more flexible, much more safe.
It's not more flexible. It's not more flexible because what do I do with a third brick?
Block's better, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess
think it's better because you're right.
we were just thinking like with the sheep port and like the 3 cards you get on the 9 or the 10.
Yeah,
with
sheep
3
port,
for
the
1.
9, 10 both turn to
Yeah,
free
but
cards.
he has no use for the brick if he doesn't get wood,
Yeah.
and no
That's
use
it.
for the art if he doesn't get wood.
So I'm just porting everything, and it's inefficient. So
And
I think
is blocked a lot.
I
So,
city 2 cycles later, so I think it was the right one to do first.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You did, and I think again there was some validity to that because it allowed you to pump the second city quicker.
Yeah.
I just think standalone on its own, it just looks like a very questionable play. But I definitely did understand the validity around it.
Yeah, and I think placements went through like probably how most people would do it. Everyone had pretty good picks in my opinion. EMTs just looked like they had the best setup with the best production.
To be honest,
resource
I don't
distribution.
know. I have no idea how the 8-10-4 got to me.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused
I
by
mean,
that.
I'll take it.
I was like,
Aggron wanted that at first, which
I mean,
I see why Noise went 5, 8, 10.
yeah. Personally, I would have picked that first.
Yeah.
No, I think that the 8-10-5 is better as the first position. Because the thing is, like, the 10 is blocked a lot, the 5 is not because it's a soul block. And then you get the wood board to you get the wood doesn't get stuck in your hand. So no, I think that the 8-10 the 8-5-10 is a better first pick.
You can be agreeable with like the person next to you that they can just.
But I think the second pick is definitely the 8-4-10.
No, so in second, I was looking at 8-4-10, and the issue is I don't get a good wood on the way back. So the better brick is not actually that much better.
Yeah,
but you can get like the 10-9-2 to 6-2.
I actually really like 5, 9, 10 as second, just because of the ports. Like this game,
the ports too. Yeah, that for sure. Because I'm thinking I'm probably going middle of the board on my second pick. It's a wheat and sheep. That's not good enough in terms of the ports on 8-10-4.
Yeah.
No, but if you get the 8-10-4 and then you go on the 9-10-2, or I mean, like you get
again,
the
where's the port?
And you get the 6-2 with the wood.
The 9-10-2.
Like, I mean, in the worst case scenario, but you can also.
Where's the wood? Where's the wood?
I just like 5, 9, 10
get
for
the
second.
You build to the 6-2.
I like it for second just because Sonic normally always gets wheat here on the way back, and even if he doesn't, the sheep port allows the flexibility. Not even that, but also with the 3-for-1 port, which the 3-for-1 is huge. Raymond got the 4-ore 3-for-1 port, which it was good that noisepond was able to get to the wood port, but 3-for-1 definitely mattered in this game, especially with how much EMTs was porting, or the entirety of the table was porting 4-for-1. So.
I just realized my biggest mistake, and I thought it was stupid to think about in the first place. And that was, for my second pick, I was literally thinking of just hopping on 8-3.
8-3?
Yeah,
no, I don't think the 8-3 is a good play. I thought you were considering
it's not bad. It's a little out.
8 and 3 popped like crazy. So if I just felt
they did.
I would have been on Orb.
When you took a long time to think, I thought you were considering like going on the 10-3-11 and pointing right, so that you always get the spot against Red.
Yeah,
I mean, there's definitely a play there actually. 8-3 to 9-4-11. I don't think there's any competition there.
I mean, there is because I can get there first.
He gets, that's what I was thinking. I was just like, Red gets road so easily that they can just wow. Like,
but I don't know if that's true. If you started at 8-3, realistically, what do you need to get there? 2 8 to 10?
I don't know.
I mean, it's definitely risky. Don't get me wrong.
I think it.
And there's
it
also
better
another
based
thing,
on the rules, but I can't predict that.
No,
even if he gets the 10-11-4,
obviously, there's a big, hindsight bias there. I think just going for the 9-4-11 at the gate is better for a more flexible game, like for number diversity reasons. But
yeah,
I think
it's
there's
definitely
definitely
better.
validity to 8-3 as well.
I mean,
I think
If you can get there,
mean I
the 9-4-11
probably would have
is the best
taken
performance.
the 3-11 10 because you point right and you get the 9-4-11 anyway, and you
Yeah, but
don't
the
much race for
problem
it.
is I want to get to Woodport first, and it's like super slow to already get there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
And like,
that's true.
then
Yeah.
I think
Well,
your setup is really good or we cheap, especially with the Woodport free card. It's just tough when you pull 3 VPs at the start.
yeah.
It's
well,
great.
I mean, it was fine until like I just couldn't get like the weeb roll, and then.
Oh, Rayman, I actually do have a question for you. Why did you go for 3-10-11 first over 6-3? A little bit confused.
Yeah, I didn't have the city on the 6, and I thought it becomes a blocking target if I'm doubled.
Okay. So So my assumption was correct on that. But I don't think you were ever the block at that point in the game, though.
No, I don't think so either. But me and
Yeah.
Sonic with the doubled beat 6, I thought could be.
I think there's
every
definitely a
time I
little
got
bit
the
of potential
rubber, I
risk
would put
there,
it
but
on
I
6
feel
and
like
just
the
get it.
6-3 is just genuinely much more valuable to you to snatch up first, especially since Sonic could potentially snatch it up before you.
Yeah, that's a good point. I honestly I didn't even think I would get both 2 settles.
Oh yeah,
because
I mean honestly, it's a
this is
miracle
so
for your
hard.
game that you got both. Like that's honestly insane. Like that helped you out significantly. Gives you a lot of flexibility to work with.
Yeah, amazing game, guys. Thank you guys again for allowing me to or allowing us, Aggron and I, to commentate.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It was a really great one, and GG's again to Raymond. You guys all played very good. So, yeah, thanks, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your game,
maybe.
or a great rest of your day.
Great rest of your game. Oh my goodness, dude, as if they're gonna go play more Catan. I mean, I'm gonna play some Catan in an hour and 20 minutes.
All right, guys. So I believe that is the Division 1 finale for the April season. So shout out to Raymond for being the new two-time champion. He joins the elite company of very few names. So shout out to Raymond again. Well deserved. Should have been a two-time champion, if not three-time champion, a long time ago. We wanted to thank Aggron again for joining us. Don't know where he went, but we heard him in VC and talking to the players a little bit. But I just wanted to again thank you guys for tuning in and kind of being patient with me in this whole stream situation. There's some audio difficulties at some point, but we're trying to work through the kinks. All in all, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.